I'm with Karen and Rex Malott, and this couple is so involved in classic cars, and specifically 57 Chevrolets. How did this all begin?
Well, my stepdad had a car lot, and he worked for my dad, and my dad asked him one time to take me to Shoppers Fair to get me an Easter outfit, and he drove his '59 Chevy, and we went there, and he took me around Custer's.
I remember Custer's last stand.
Yeah, she was only about 12 years old back then, and I was 16, and I thought she looks pretty good for a 12-year-old.
One of the first dates, pretty much in the very beginning, we went to the drive-in, the highway drive-in. And so we were watching the movie and enjoying the movie, and we both fell asleep. Well, my time to be home was 11 o'clock. It was now 11:30. And I was so scared when I was on my way home. I thought, we're really going to get it. I'm really going to get it. Well, we pulled up in the driveway, and Rex has got the rest of that story.
Her dad came out of the door, and he would have killed me, but I was fast back in those days. And I would run around my car, and he would run around my car, and I finally wore him out. He gave up. But if he got a hold of me, he was going to do me in, I know. And I had to open up the gas station the next morning. The next morning, he was cooled down, but boy, I'd have got it that night.
Well, you really had a good relationship with her father. I mean, you really did.
Right. I walked across the street to the gas station, and he hired me to pump gas. And he took a liking to me, and he said, let me show you how to work on an engine. I want you to take this bolt out, this bolt out, this bolt out. And then he would brag about how good I could pull the heads on a car. Her dad actually was helping me find a '57 Chevy. And we went through Kokomo, and I wanted a black one. And this yellow and white one was across from the armory and over in Kokomo, and I bought it. And on that night, kind of celebrate that I finally got the car, he let me take her to the races the very first day I had the car.
And then you ran off with his daughter.
Yep, I came back from the service, and on the day I got back, I asked her to marry me, and everything's history now.
Rex, this car behind us, not yellow and white.
No.
There must have been something about this car that really grabbed you.
Well, I was playing around on eBay, and Karen says, what are you doing? I said, I'm just looking at cars. And they wanted $35,000 for this car. And it started out at 50, so they had come down to 35. And I put a bid in for 20,000. And 20,000 didn't buy the car, but they did call me and said, hey, you are the highest bidder. If you're serious, you need to come and look at this car. I looked underneath this car, and the underneath this car is just as nice as the outside. It shines under this car. No panels have ever been changed. This is a car from New Mexico, and all original panels. That was the thing that got me.
You've done some things. It's got some of your touches, too.
Yes, it didn't have bumper guards. I put bumper guards on it. It had some speakers in the back that I didn't like, so I mounted the original kind of speakers. I detailed the engine compartment. I went back to the original carburetor. I had to find one. A guy had one in LaFountain that had been on the shelf for 40 years. And Larry Williams, he worked on that thing for 2 or 3 months, but we finally got it. Yeah. And I got an air cleaner, and I had to rebuild the air cleaner it was on it. It was all rusty and nasty, but it looks like a new one now.
The engine, 283.
The engine is a 283 power pack, and it was rebuilt. I have all the receipts that the man that I bought it off of kept, and he's got them in a book in chronological order, and it adds up to $50,000 worth of receipts. And since I've owned the car, I've kept that going, and now I'm up to $53,000. The transmission was rebuilt. Just one receipt after another. The ball joints are new, the shocks are new, the springs are new. Front and back, springs are new. Still had the labels on the springs.
Yeah, it's a low mileage car.
And then the whole mileage on the whole car is 53,000. All these 57 Chevys had rust. Most of them you could stand in the holes in the floorboards, but this has none. It is really nice.
Well, what's your plans for the car? I mean, you're going to continue detailing it out and trying to get it clear back to original?
I'm not probably going to go completely original. It does have the front wheel disc brakes, which made it safer, yes. And I have went to the radial tires, which were better than the bias ply tires. But the more we drive it, the more we enjoy it. And you said something about I drive them. I drive all of them. I have done the Route 66 6 times.
Amazing.
And I just love driving the cars. That's what the whole fun's about. I don't like the trailer cars. If you see this on a trailer, it's stolen. But I put all those little details in the engine compartment, and the engine compartment did pretty good at a show last week. It was a national show, and I was put in a modified class because there's enough little changes that it couldn't be original. And I placed it first, and I got out of a 1,000-point system. I got a 987, which is really, really good.
7 1957 Chevys in your life. Your whole marriage has been around the 57 Chevy. Karen, what made you go foreign?
Well, I drove one in high school, and I really had a lot of fun, my girlfriend and I. We just happened to run into one, and of course Rex said it had to be a convertible, even though that's not what I drove in high school, but we love it.
This is the 1970 Volkswagen you've been telling us about. This car is very much like the first one you had, white.
It's pretty close. Mine was a little creamier, but it's about the same.
Rex, most of this car is original.
It has about 38,000 miles. We've had a couple flat tires, and I took it to the local place, and they say, you know how old those tires are? And I said, no. And they said, those are 1978 tires that's on the car.
Amazing. And the top, completely original. I mean, not replaced.
No, the top is the top that came with the car. It's still in pretty decent shape, and we try to take care of it.
Have you done anything to the engine at all?
Well, my brother-in-law, before he had give it to us, he had tried to get the oil leak fixed, and there was a local garage here, Hal Canode, works on Volkswagens, and I asked him if he could fix it, and he said, yeah, sure, bring her over. So I took it over to him, and about an hour later, he said, well, I got the motor out of it. I said, you got the motor out of it? And he said, yeah, it's the oil cooler that's leaking. And I said, well, why you got that out? If the motor needs rebuilt, just go through it. And he said, there isn't nothing wrong with that motor. It's only got 38,000 miles on it, and it does run like a new car.
Amazing. A Volkswagen convertible with an air conditioning unit, and most Volkswagens didn't have an air conditioning unit in the first place.
No. It's actually an aftermarket, but whoever put that in there, it looks so good. It looks like it came from the factory that way.
Well, Karen, some people make these Volkswagens. You know, they make purple tops and all that. What about this car?
I'd like to have an orange one or a green one to match all my little splats on the car.
You went to a car show. What happened?
Well, I got my first trophy. I was so excited because we were there and everybody was looking at all the cars, and I was so excited because I might win a trophy, you know. And so when they called my name, it was for my horn because it was the loudest. It's an Uga horn.
We want to thank Rex and Karen Malott for your time today, bringing both cars out. So many people were interested in why you went foreign, Karen, and we now know that. And, man, a lot of 57 Chevrolets and Corvettes that you've been involved with. You're well known in the area. We want to thank you for all your participation in many flying cruise-ins over the years.
We appreciate that.
Thank you.